What's up everyone, it's your boy. In this video we are going to take a look at domain name system servers. So I'll just give you like a brief overview of what DNS actually is. So they're like a dictionary for IP addresses. So just like you have your contacts list on your phone where the name is connected to the phone number. Here the name is connected to an IP address. So we'll just take a look at this mock tree type diagram. So for example, since most of you are PICT students, you probably have searched PICT's website at least once since you joined college, hopefully. Right, so when you search it on your mobile browser or whatever, the result goes to a resolver, the query that is, the query for search. Then the resolver will send it to the root DNS server. Also, mostly to optimize on like time efficiency and stuff, the resolver will already have your what do you say, popular domain names cached in itself. If it is not, only then it will go to the root DNS server, right? So after it goes to the root DNS server, we have a .edu, so it will go to that .edu ka generic server. There are country servers also like .in, .us, .canada and stuff like that. Then there's .gov also for government sites. Then yeah, so basically from .edu, then the authoritative servers will kick in. Authoritative servers may फिर it will find the name of pict.edu. The authoritative server will basically have all the .edu वाले domain names. And then उसके बाद जो भी सब domain रहेगा उसके अंदर. So we have ms.pict.edu. Say for computer department, if PICT has a separate domain name, then ce.pict.edu could be an example. But in this case, it will just take the pict.edu wala IP address, in this case, which will be the website or the server where the website is hosted. Then it will bring that back to the resolver and it will show you the result. Right, so also about root servers, there is a common misconception that there are only 13 root servers in the world. There is actually 13 IP addresses for the root servers in this world. There are many root servers, वैसे. It's just that only 13 IP addresses have been assigned to root servers. And all of these root servers are named. Okay, so from A to M. So if you guys if you know about Cloudflare hosts the F root server. Basically, that's pretty much the overview of how DNS actually works. But there are two types of ways the process flows. So I've mentioned that over here. Also, DNS servers use UDP for packets because speed is the priority, right? If you go on Google and search for something, it usually happens in milliseconds. And there's iterative calls to DNS servers. So basically what happens here is the user makes a request. The ISP cache or resolver first goes to the root server, then it comes back. Then it goes to the top level domain server, which is the generic country server and stuff. Then it comes back. Udhar se the top level domain will give the address of the authoritative server. And then from the authoritative server, it will get like this address, the domain ka address, IP address that is. Then it will go and come back to the user. So इधर थोड़ा सा responsibility कम है. Like the root server will just give you the IP address and then you can do whatever you want to do with it. There's another type which is recursive, and for this video I'll be showing recursive only in Cisco Packet Tracer. Iterative is, I mean, pretty much the same. It's just that you have to get the IP address from that root server. So yeah, so in recursive what happens is the user makes a request to a website. The ISP cache or a resolver will first check whether the thing is cached or not. If it is, it will return it right away. Agar nahi hai cached, so it will go to the root server. Then the root server will direct it to the top level domain server. Top level domain server will then go to the authoritative server, जहाँ से it will get the domain name and the IP address. So basically IP address ही फिर से आएगा. So authoritative server से फिर से top level domain, then slash root वाला, and then it will make its way to resolver. So यहाँ पे the root server is going to actually return you the final IP address of your website, as compared to यहाँ पे where the authoritative server is returning it to you. So that's the basic difference. Other than that, I mean, it's not that complicated. We'll just take a look at it in Cisco Packet Tracer now. Right, so this is the basic kind of setup I've done in Cisco Packet Tracer. If you look at other YouTube videos online now, they've just done a simple, very simple like domain name setup. I mean, you can do that. That's technically a domain name only. What they've actually done is they've just taken like इतना सा region within a network, and यहाँ पे से one machine पे कुछ hosted है, तो just उसका IP address को name से replace किया है. So I mean that's also correct, but this is like a proper what do you say, a proper topology and a representation of what actually happens. Okay, so first it will go your whatever you search. First it will go to your resolver. Resolver say it will go to the root. Root से it will go to your authoritative server जहाँ से उसको actual IP address मिलेगा. Then it will go back. So यहाँ पे see we have our server.travel.com IP address. So if I go in here and I'll just open the web browser, or let's just ping the server, right? I've actually already done this पहले for testing. Right, so server.travel, or we can do travel.com. Either one works. So I'll do this in simulation mode. So I'm pinging this. See, this DNS request is starting up. It goes over here. It goes to this server. Then it will return a packet. इधर गया. Now this DNS request will go forward to the root server. Yeah, the root server will now send it to the authoritative server. See over here, this is the actual server where the website is hosted. But the thing is, this is not like authoritative server में already इसका information है. So it won't go over here and waste its time. So जैसे डायग्राम में दिया था ना कि it's root server से directly authoritative पे जाएगा और उधर से directly it will get the IP address and move on. See, so यहाँ से अभी फिर से गया. And after this, it will go to the laptop PT. See, यहाँ पे first line आ गया, pinging with 32 bytes of data. I'll auto capture this, and we can probably see यहाँ पे ICMP packet है, which is the ping का default. Now, जैसे ही it will make its way to here ना, we'll see a line pop up here. See, reply आया. TTL 125 time 12 milliseconds, 32 bytes का packet. This STP wala, don't ignore this. That's just a spanning tree protocol done by the switches. So यहाँ पे ICMP ping वाला फिर से जा रहा है, second वाला, and yeah, it made its way. So ऐसे ही 4 times it will ping by default. You can change it using the dash and argument. But that's basically how our servers are actually functioning. Yeah, first of all, we'll just take 3 routers over here. Okay. So we have 3 routers, then I'll take let's just say we'll take a PC over here. We'll need switches. Take one switch, and I'll need a switch over here as well. Then we'll need 3 servers. Right, the first one will be our local server. The second one will be the root server. The third one will be the authoritative server. and this one. We'll start making the connection. So this is pretty simple. Fast Ethernet say there. Uh, just make this connection here in 0.0. Then I'll connect this to this, right? So this is configured. We connect these two. Basically all the copper straight through. I'm making connections of that now. Fast forward the time. Then cross through I'll do over here. The reason I'm doing cross through over here is because I'm not using a switch. So yeah, when you're directly connecting to a router, it's better to use cross through. Although it doesn't really make that much difference in Cisco Packet Tracer because it's like a simulation tool. This is not real life, right? Right, so we will have to add serial ports to this router. So the module HWIC2T, first switch it off, then add the serial ports, see two high-speed serial WAN ports. Then I'll turn it on. We'll do the same thing for this also. First turn it off, add the ports. And that's it. Switch off ports and turn on. Bam, that's done. Now I'll control click this. We'll go serial 00, 00 here as well, 001 and 001 here. And after that, I'll take copper straight through, fast Ethernet 00. There we go. So a basic kind of topology setup is done almost. Just move this so that this is clear. Yeah. Now this will be our resolver. Right? Okay. Yes. So this is our resolver provider. And this is our internet service provider. Then this will be the internet or www, or I'll just say internet. This is fine. This router will basically just take us to these two servers, so that's okay. Now we'll have to start configuring like our networks. So I'll just start like give a IP address over here 192.168.0.0. See, so now I'll start configuring all of these networks. So first of all, we'll go to the ISP in config. This port, what is this port? Just check. Fast Ethernet 00. So I'll turn it on first. Then we'll configure the IP address 192.168.0.1. Same subnet mask and stuff. And we'll have to add this to RIP because we are like traversing between various networks, right? So RIP is required. So I've just added that. And I'll add the adjoining networks RIP as well, 10.0.0.0. It's class A, so the one doesn't really matter. To do the serial port configuration, yeah, the serial port was 00, and I'll do 10.0.1.1. Right. Now in server PT, go to config settings. The gateway will be the gateway of the like the address of the router. जो router के fast access में दिया है वो pretty normal at this point. 0.1. The DNS server, we'll have to mention that in the future. I'll just first assign the basics, do the basics. 0.2. Then this is also the same. Fast Ethernet 192.168.0.3. Then in settings, the gateway will be 192.168.0.1 and the DNS will be this wala DNS, the resolver. So 192.168.0.2. Right. So we have done like the basic config for this. There's no need for providing a default gateway over here. Like not a default gateway, the default DNS server, because we'll just go to services and DNS, and over here we'll have to put in the root wala. So this is our root server. So yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, we are sort of trying to make a PICT server kind of thing here. So let's just say this is our CNS lab. Crazy, I know. The PC name is CNSL. That is the representative of the entire lab. Okay. Right, so moving on, we'll have to first of all configure the serial ports so that we can give everyone an IP address first before we do any of the DNS configurations. So this is configured from this side. You'll have to go over here. First of all, serial 00. Turn this on 10.0.1.2. So that's that one configured. Then we'll go to fast Ethernet 01. So fast Ethernet 01. We can pick a different IP address for this. So I'll pick 192.168.2.10 or 1. Just pick 10. And we'll have to write that down over here. 92.168.2.10. Right. Let's see. Yeah. 192.168.2.10. This address is already used in the network. Oh, okay, my bad. Hold up. Yeah. Okay. This is 10 and the gateway is going to be 192.168. What was it? 2.1. Yeah. Again, we don't need to provide a DNS over here, just the gateway. Right. This is the config. Then we'll go to the router. In RIP, we'll have to add this network and this network. So we can just add those two IP addresses, 0.1.0. We'll add that up. Then 192.168.2.0. You could also add 10. It doesn't really make a difference. It will just take it as 2.0. Right. So we have added these two. We'll also have to add the third one, 11.1. So I'll just do that now. 11.0.1.0. It will just take it as 11.00. Then in RIP, this is serial. This is on serial port 1, so I'll configure that accordingly. This is just normal configuration. Whether if you want, you can like slow down the video and take a look at this step by step. But I don't want to keep explaining this over and over again in every video, so I'm just going to go through this quickly. That is done. 0.0. Okay. Now, what address we can give this one? 12.0.1.5 and 12.0.1.10. Right, so there's something different. These are the IP addresses of these servers. Also, while if you're doing this, make sure you write down all the IP addresses so that there's no confusion later on. Because there's a lot of chances where you can actually mess up the IP address. Right, so I'm just going to put this as well here. And that's pretty much it. We'll just configure the IP addresses over here as well. See, so the gateway will be 12.0.1.1. No need for a DNS because that is the DNS server itself. And 12.0.1.5. 10. Right, in settings, we'll configure the gateway 12.0.1.1. Yes, okay. So I'm just going to fast forward the time a bit, and we are going to just check with the PDO if everything is working. Okay, so the gateways and stuff is configured well. Okay, this is working. Just need to make sure. Okay, this was successful. Then this was also successful. Let's check if this is successful. Okay, none of these failed. So our connections have made pretty well. Okay, let's try that again. I don't know why, due to some reason, the first time you do all of these PDUs, it fails. Right, but now our server, like all the configuration is done. So basically the router forwards all these packets correctly. Now we can start the DNS config. Right, so first of all, we'll go to the resolver. We'll go to services, DNS, and we'll first add a record. So in Cisco Packet Tracer, there are a few different fields which you can look out for. There's a record, a CNAME, an SOA, and an NS record. A record is basically just your normal, you take root and you give it an IP address. So 192.168.2.10. So that is basically what a record does. Now, if I want to have an NS record for EDU, so I'll have to give the server name of the root over here. Because whenever we have a domain name edu, so a .edu searched, what it should do, the resolver, it should go to the root server, and the IP address of the root server is this. So it should basically go to that IP address. That's why we add these two. That's all the config required over here. Just turn it on. Fast forward it a couple of times. Nothing crazy over here. Then we'll go to services for the root. DNS, we'll turn this on. Right, so for DNS, there's a few things which we need to keep in mind. Because DNS say what is going to happen is from DNS, it's going to go to the authority server, the authority.pict.edu. Okay, and the root is also going to return the first IP address. Okay, so basically in the root server, what we need to do is we first need to, जैसे root server का resolver में किया, वैसे ही we'll have to do for authority.pict.edu, where first of all we take the name authority.pict.edu. Just make sure the spelling is correct, and we put the IP address of that 12.0.1.5. You add it. Then we do NS record. NS stands for name system, by the way. Right. So whenever a search is made for pict.edu, it should go to authority.pict.edu. I'll just make sure this name is correct. Yeah. Right. So we've done these two. Now over here, what we'll have to put is an SOA. SOA is basically a start of authority. So in recursive DNS क्या होता है कि root server will only return you the IP address, right? So इधर से मतलब basically root server का इलाका चालू होता है. To put it in very crude terms, you can name it in anything you like. Over here, I'm just going to name it authority.pict.edu. Right, so I'm just going to name authority. The primary server name will also be the same, authority. The mailbox is basically the email ID. This is an old version, so I guess we have a mailbox option. Minimum TTL. TTL is again is basically time to live, like the minimum number of hops before the packet is dead. I'm just going to put that as let's say 20 is fine. Refresh time 5 minutes. Retry time 5. Expiry time let's say 20. You can put these values or any values which you want to. Personally, doesn't really matter. This is done. Now we go to authority.pict.edu. Services, DNS, turn that on. Now over here we have, so if pict.edu hai, so that's a record, and we put the IP address 1.10. Then if someone is searching for server.pict.edu, that is also the same machine, so we'll just do .10, add that. Right. So also over here, there is a possibility that the user will make a search using the www thing. So it will probably be like www.pict.edu. So that we can do using cname. All the ये जो www वाला है, it should basically redirect to the other host name pict.edu. Now we have to add the SOA. Right, I'm just going to do authority over here. Authority, mailbox, authority, botched that spelling. Let's say 30, refresh time 5. We'll say 5 and expiry time we'll say 20 or 10. Add. Okay, so that's the configuration of this server done. Now we'll go to server.pict.edu where we'll have to configure like the other things. इसका भी DNS configure करना है, so we'll just turn this on. And first of all, though, we'll have to put the root in this, and we'll have to put in the root address, so 192.168.2.10. The reason is because from the server.pict.edu, it's like you have to return back to the root server, and then from there you have to go to like the resolver. So we need to know the address of the root. That's why we have to add this. Right. So now that we've added the root, uske baad there are some other fields which are like a bit special, you could say. First of all, we'll do NS record, where we will be like destination dot next dot final. Add it. Then we'll do a CNAME destination dot next. Yeah, you'll have to select destination dot next dot final. Add that. Basically, what this is going to do is this is going to tell the query to go to destination. Then destination से it will go to destination dot next dot final. जहाँ से it will go back to the root. Just a way of navigating the query back. This is going to be destination dot next, and I'll add this. So see destination.next, destination.next.final, and this ultimately goes back to the root server. This is all on. Now I'll just go over here, make sure the HTTP and HTTPS server is turned on, and over here this is Cisco Packet Tracer site. So you'll just start pict.edu. Welcome to pict.edu. Opening doors to new. Let's just not talk anything regarding that, and we'll just say you must be happy to be here. We hope. Right. We'll add a basic BR tag over here. Just a little bit of making it look good. Other than that, this is fine. I don't really care about it itna. We'll override this file. Right. This is h1. I'll make this h1 pict college /h1. Right. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think if we go over here, first of all, I'll have to fast forward the time so that all the setup is done. I will go to desktop. We'll just check first whether everything is working by pinging it. pict.edu. Yeah, we are getting a response, which is great. Now we'll go to our web browser in this, and we'll type pict.edu. Go. Okay, yes. PICT College, welcome to pict.edu. You must be happy to be here, we hope. Then there's a small page. Hello world, copyrights. This is the same Cisco Packet Tracer copyrights. Image page, there's an image of Cisco. There's another image. Cool. That's pretty much it. Also, here we are getting HTTP, so let's just do www.pict.edu just to show you that that works as well. So this works as well. And you realized that this time when I searched, it was much quicker than the previous time. That's because in the DNS cache of our resolver, the address is now stored. So if I go DNS cache, see the addresses are stored over here with the timestamp. So this is the IP of pict.edu, www.pict.edu is also stored over here. That's it though. That's been recursive DNS functioning. I won't be doing iterative because that's just unnecessary in my opinion, and it will take just more time in general. But that's it. If you like the video, smash like, subscribe. Bye bye.